Get a cup, get a cup, get a cup. Hello, welcome back to another video on Fresh Cutslim. Today, we're looking at Scooby-Doo versus Courage the Cowardly Dog by Death Battle. I have no clue who's going to win this. As far as I'm aware, I'm thinking maybe Courage the Cowardly Dog, and here's my reasoning. Just because I've seen Scooby-Doo, and I can't remember a time where he had powers or abilities, but I could be completely wrong because I've seen it so long. But anyway, whatever. With that being said, the original link to the description. Make sure you go subscribe to Death Battle, and let's begin.
Scooby-Doo, the miraculous mutt from Mystery Incorporated.
Courage, the cowardly dog straight out of nowhere.
Canis familiaris, man's best friend, the dog. No animal companion has stood by humanity's side as long or as loyally.
Even, and maybe especially, these two yellow bellied.
Sorry for pausing so soon, but like, what about horses? I remember seeing something recently where it's like, horses have been with humans all throughout history up until like the last, cars were invented. Other than that, horses were great companions to humans as well. But, I mean, I guess they didn't live in the house with humans, but I would say horses have got to be a top contender as well.
Lily-livered scaredy cats. Or dogs.
All right.
Throughout the ages, countless philosophers have posited the same question time and time again.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you?
Pretty much everywhere. From cartoons to comics, from video games to board games, from live theater
To the most incredible major motion picture of all time, he's the greatest Dane since Hamlet.
But his monumental presence in popular culture belies his...
Is Scooby-Doo on any streaming service? Like, what streaming service is it on? Because I kind of want to watch the older ones because I like them and I love the way they're animated. But I don't really want to watch any of the newer ones because I don't really like the way they're animated and it's not my thing. But it's not owned by Disney, is it? Like, Warner Brothers made this, didn't they? And who owns that?
humble origins. Born to Momsy and Dada-Doo in Doosville, USA.
Dada-Doo.
Doosville ain't what it used to be ever since they moved all those manufacturing jobs to Bangladesh.
The young Scoobert was adopted by the Rogers family and their prodigal gluttonous son, Norville, better known by his friends as Shaggy.
Is that the lore behind it? I didn't know any of that. I'm only familiar with the older animations where they just drive around in a vehicle together like a bunch of hippies.
Those friends being Velma Dinkley, Daphne Blake, Fred Jones, and sometimes...
With their powers combined, they are Mystery
Velma's last name's Dinkley? Kind of unfortunate. But I got a dink I can give her.
Incorporated, a cadre of snot-nosed teenagers traveling the Nixon-era United States.
Hey, yo, how old is she? All right, we're taking back the dink joke.
In a cushed-up Volkswagen, foiling seemingly paranormal crimes and unmasking corrupt authority figures.
All of whom definitely would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for those meddling kids and their dog.
Scooby is indispensable in Mystery Inc. investigations. Great Danes were bred by 17th century German nobility to hunt bear, boar, and deer, which means he's a master tracker. Scooby's super sniffer knows...
Wait, he's a Great Dane? Aren't those like the huge dogs? Like they're like massive and they don't live that long because of how big they are? Is that what he is? I always kind of figured he was, I don't know, not a boxer, but somewhere between like a boxer and like a Rottweiler, somewhere in between there.
Can root out the bad guys no matter how well hidden.
They were called Kamerhunda, or chamber dogs, because they stay in their prince's chambers and protect them from assassins. Such brave, fearless doggos.
Too bad for Shaggy and the gang, the apple didn't just fall far from the tree, it defied the laws of Newtonian physics and rocketed into space at the speed of light, because Scooby is an absolute coward. That's
right. So Courage the Cowardly Dog. Oh wait, they're both cowards then. I have no clue who's gonna win this. This is an insane idea for a death battle. Because they're just cowards, they don't fight. What is it, who can hide better?
He's terrified of his own shadow and constantly anxious about everything imaginable. And his only motivation is his delicious Scooby snacks.
Which makes it so baffling that he's actually kind of a badass.
Scooby's a master of the dupe, a classic technique of cartoon tricksters.
Sometimes called the power of positive assertion. Scooby flexes his mastery of disguise to fool would-be attackers. like seducing zombies as a belly dancer, or tricking a jester into entering an existential crisis.
This man was so thoroughly convinced to rethink his entire life, he went all the way home and got into bed before realizing he'd been fooled.
Obviously, these disguises shouldn't work at all, but Scooby's just so supernaturally talented, they just do. See, this is a perfect example. No one in their right mind would think that that's anyone but Boomstick in an awful
Let me guess, that's Boomstick's mother?
wig and makeup.
That's my mom.
Called it.
I'm so sorry, ma'am. If those disguises sound completely impossible, that's because they are. You might have thought of the Scooby-Doo series as being pretty grounded with all its men in masks, but then one day, the mask did not come off.
That's right, it's terror time again. The monsters started being real, and Scooby became just as bonkers to match. Like, remember those Scooby snacks? They started to give him a physical boost in strength, kind of like Papa.
All right, I must have missed some of this. I don't remember any of this. At what point did they start doing this? This looks like it's like this is an older animation too. So I don't know. So maybe he does have powers, which then I think maybe. But I think Courage the Cowardly Dog also has like some kind of, you know, bravery at points too. Man, I'll have to see both of them before I can say who I think's gonna win.
My spinach.
That's nothing. Shaggy's brilliant uncle, Albert Shackleford, upgraded those snacks with nanite technology, giving them a variety of different
Ruh-roh.
Zoink, Scooby, that's meth.
effects. Everything from invisibility, robotic armor, force field, super intelligence, and Panther!
Yeah, nanomachines, dog. And we're just getting started. He can stretch and squash his body any way he likes, even duplicating himself or regenerating
He's got the friggin' like cartoon DNA in him, so he's practically indestructible now.
from damage.
Like being chopped into pieces, crumbling into dust, or just blowing up.
His soul was literally scared out of his body, and both his body and soul kept going.
I think that's just called astral projection.
At the same time, that doesn't make sense.
He can appear in multiple places at once, ignore the laws of gravity, rewind time with his time scepter or super speed, draw things into existence, and mess with the plot of his own show.
Things getting a little too spooky for him? He'll just cut to commercial break.
He's also got weapons like the Super Spooker 3000, a gun that instills fear into the hearts of man.
And no, not like an actual gun. It literally shoots fear.
Or the
I think he's just shooting like adrenaline. That's all it is adrenaline. You know, to the verge of like having like a heart attack, and then they start panicking.
The Chest of Demons, an ark containing 13 monstrous ghosts.
Ghosts!
Should you be trapped within its grasp, your body and soul will be imprisoned in everlasting torment in this heretofore undiscovered 10th circle of hell.
Neat! Scooby-Doo has dodged laser beams and electromagnetic waves, survived being at the epicenter of an explosion that blew up time, and successfully...
All right, I think Scooby's gonna win. Like, I'm not calling it right now, but this is like he's got the cartoon DNA in him. Well, I mean, Courage the Cowardly Dog is also a cartoon, but like, or the Looney Tune DNA. If Courage doesn't, then Scooby's gonna win because Scooby seems to be kind of overpowered.
performed the Zabrinsky Triangle with Shaggy and Maddie Ziegler.
The Zabrinsky Triangle is a dance so unbelievably dangerous that even imperfect executions have caused widespread destruction.
When performed perfectly, it was so beautiful it literally lit up the entire universe and blew up the enormous snow globe containing it. It makes sense if you watch the show. Actually, no, it doesn't.
Taking this literally, we can measure the volume of the broken glass compared to the size of our entire cosmos within it. In order to shatter what is essentially an enormous glass superstructure, each dancer would have to be generating enough energy to destroy our universe 11 quintillion times over.
That's right, Maddie.
What? I think they're kind of reaching for that one. They're grasping for that one. The aliens there was like using a ball to look into it. That doesn't mean the ball was surrounding the entire universe, because then if that's the logic, then you're telling me that alien is, like, how big would that alien be compared to the universe, right? So that logic actually doesn't make any sense. So I don't think they should be comparing that glass breaking thing, because the universe was like a vision inside of it or whatever, right? It's not like the whole universe was shoved inside of it, because that wouldn't make any sense, because then you're telling me that alien it's like 15 times, 20 times bigger than the universe.
Ziegler is a universe buster.
With Scooby-Doo as their nigh omnipotent mascot, Mystery Incorporated has saved the world from alien invasions, wielded the power of a yellow lantern ring, and was even made a member of the Mystery Analysts of Gotham by Batman himself.
Yes, Batman, the world's greatest detective, recognizes Scooby's skills.
Even facing down and defeating the evil entity, an eldritch dark god, and surviving its death, which rewrote all of reality. Yeah, you know, the talking dog that crossed over with the Harlem Globetrotters and Don Knotts defeated Satan. No biggie.
So,
That's like them really pushing it, huh? That's like the show Supernatural. I think that's a show, right? Where they started off at the first season, they started off like chasing just like small things like ghosts and whatnot, and then at the end of it, they're fighting devils and they're doing all this crazy stuff. It's like progression that is so unbelievable, but they have to keep doing it to keep the show interesting.
where is Scooby-Doo? He's solving mysteries and saving the world with his found family.
Also, he's an alien.
Wait, what? We interrupt this program.
All right, now we're gonna see Courage. How good is Courage gonna be? I don't know. I've not seen that much Courage. I barely know anything. So far, I'm gonna have to go with Scooby-Doo. I initially wasn't because I didn't think he had any powers. Clearly, I was wrong about that assumption. He has a crap load of them, so it's gonna be hard to beat that.
To bring you Courage, the Cowardly Dog Show, starring Courage, the Cowardly Dog.
Abandoned as a pup, he was found by Muriel, who lives in the middle of nowhere with her husband, Eustace Bagg.
But creepy stuff happens in nowhere.
It's up to Courage to save his new home.
Stupid whiz, you made me look bad. Ooga booga booga!
Breathing on me. Get away.
Sorry. What? Who wouldn't be excited for one of animation's mightiest mutts?
Courage is an adorable pink beagle with a heart of gold and an undying love for his doting Scottish mistress.
Beagles are hare hunters with intense separation anxiety, excellent senses of smell, and a set of lungs that'll knock your socks off. All of which
Do they actually have an intense separation anxiety? I know some dogs do. I just don't know if beagles specifically do.
fits Courage to a T, especially the howling part.
To be fair, Courage has a lot to howl about. Nowhere USA is a magnet for interdimensional weirdness, attracting some of the strangest freaks in the world.
Like master criminals, cats, and LaQuack, mattress demons, mummies, weremoles, mad scientists, gods and goddesses, aliens, robots, alien robots, this chicken, the king of flan, and a
Not the chicken. I'd say. I guess he's gotta be pretty powerful if he's ending up defeating all these things.
course, the United States government.
Very powerful.
Poor Courage is absolutely terrified of all of it. But his devotion to Muriel means he'll always step up and fight the good fight.
Good thing he's kind of a genius. He's a brilliant engineer capable of whipping up the most devious of traps almost instantly. And he's got an unending supply of tools at his disposal.
Everything from his trusty mallet to grappling hooks, ray guns, flamethrowers, chainsaws, bombs, beagle-sized cannons,
So far, none of this is comparing to Scooby-Doo.
yo-yos, a mind control helmet, vampire hunting gear, and the God Bone.
An ancient artifact that is completely irresistible to any mortal dog, forcing them to lick it until they die.
Except for Courage, of course. I guess if you have the willpower to stare down a gigantic purple foot mobster, you can resist even the most delicious of treats.
And he can pull all of this stuff out of his ass anytime he wants. He always has exactly what he needs.
All thanks to his computer named Computer. A sentient desktop which knows almost anything and everything, even if he has a bit of an attitude about it.
Which means he's always prepared, especially when he can shapeshift his body into literally anything he can think of.
All right, he's getting into that freaking cartoon DNA.
From inanimate objects to monsters to different animation mediums entirely. Courage usually uses this as a form of charades to communicate with others, but don't get it twisted. These aren't just visual animation gags. His body is actually shapeshifting.
Courage's body is a canvas upon which his imagination runs wild. He can stretch to crazy lengths, shrink to microscopic sizes, turn invisible, appear anywhere he wants, or duplicate himself.
He's also
Okay, now we're talking. Now the fight's getting a little more interesting. I was gonna say at first, he had all these cartoon hammers and whatever shoved up his rear end, and that's pretty cool. But cartoon hammers and whatever shoved up his... But that's nothing compared to, you know, what Scooby-Doo can do. Do either of them, like, is he also indestructible if his body can disappear and turn into, you know, just melt on the ground? Oh! If his body can just melt on the ground and do all these things, he almost is indestructible as well. And since Scooby-Doo is also basically indestructible from all the stuff he survived, do either of them have a DNA ray gun where it destroys the cartoon DNA in them, such as the Wile E. Coyote and Tom death battle, where one of them had a weapon that would do that? Because if they don't, I don't actually think either of them is going to win.
So effectively immune to damage. Oh, he still feels pain, but apparently his sheer terror overrides it.
Like the times he tore himself in half or turned himself fully inside out. The
Ew.
dude somehow vaporized his entire body completely without even ash remaining, and he just popped back good as new.
Classic cartoon shenanigans, but technically anatomically correct. Until it isn't. Courage can create objects from his imagination and often breaks the fourth wall, directly addressing the audience.
Now, you would think being an impossible-to-kill force of nature would boost his confidence a bit, but isn't that what anxiety does to you? It undermines your sense of self-worth and magnifies the problems around you.
Sure, but Courage is also fighting gods just as powerful as himself. Like this enormous alien which could spike meteors so hard it spun the Earth 1,000 years into the future. That's crazy.
Then Courage got shot out of a cannon
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
that punched him through the moon, only to get slapped by that same alien and sent crashing back to the planet. And he was fine.
Courage is strong.
That didn't look fine, and he looks like he has a lot of broken bones. So it looks like he does get hurt more than Scooby-Doo. I don't think I've ever seen Scooby-Doo get hurt. And even, you know, on the prior part with Scooby-Doo, it doesn't seem like he was. So far I'm saying Scooby has the edge.
Strong enough to physically patch up holes in the ozone layer, hold stars in his hands, and
What?
scream so loud he shattered the sun.
A scream like that would be like getting hit with over 100 septillion hydrogen bombs all at once, which is
Yeah, but didn't Scooby-Doo, like, didn't they like survive the whole universe exploding or something like that? So like I think that's still probably greater.
you know, a lot.
And keep in mind, the sound waves of his scream would have had to travel through the near vacuum of space. Basically a complete scientific impossibility.
Next time you replace my beers in the fridge with LaCroix, I'm getting my boy Jack Spaniels to blow up the sun. You've been warned.
That's not all. One time he operated a Peloton controlling a UFO and pedaled it fast enough to fly past Saturn, enter hyperspace, and cross the Milky Way galaxy.
Though Courage's greatest challenge came from inside his very home. A monster who tortures his poor pooch every single day. A depraved, psychotic motherfucker. The true Prince of Darkness. The greatest villain in cartoon history. Eustace!
He even collected all of Courage's greatest foes like a Legion of Doom, all to mercilessly beat Courage to a pulp in a game of dodgeball.
He gives
Is Eustace his enemy then? I don't know. Like, as I said, I've not really seen much of Courage.
all rednecks a bad name, Wiz. I want to end him. Low.
Okay, well, Courage's accumulated PTSD always held him back until he met a kindred spirit, another cowardly monster hunting hound.
Wait a minute, what? They've been in the same show? Or they're both in together? What?
Scooby-Doo.
Oh yeah, I remember him.
Together, they discover the source of Nowhere's weirdness.
Straight out of nowhere, crossover. Oh, so they did have a crossover. Gave Courage a legitimate finale. And an exploration for Nowhere's supernatural phenomenons. Okay. So they have met in their, realities.
A dark matter meteor that controlled reality itself.
Originally the meteor that wiped out the dinosaurs, its dark matter can rewrite the laws of physics, control minds, and turn Courage into a giant kaiju.
Taking the meteor for himself, Courage finally faced his fears, defeating this cicada queen goddess thing and saving his family once and for all. Yes, even Eustace.
Shit!
So let that be a lesson to any who would encroach upon the Bag's humble farm. It has a protector.
He may be small and he may be scared, but standing up to our fears is what makes us brave in the first place. That's why his name is Courage.
All right. Okay, who am I thinking? So far, Scooby. So far, Scooby. They both seem to have cartoon DNA, though, so maybe it's going to be a tie, which I've never seen a tie, so I kind of doubt it. I think someone's going to come ahead. And that, I'm thinking, is going to be Scooby. Unless that, like, Dark Meteor Courage has, and then maybe that's some kind of trump card where that'll destroy Scooby. I don't know. But other than that, I think Scooby has the upper hand just for all the crazy crap that he's been through and can do. Like, Courage also can do a lot, too. But it seems like Scooby has the same abilities, and if not more powerful abilities. So I'm going to have to lean towards Scooby on this. And let's see if I'm right. Oh, a 3D animation?
Ariel? Ariel!
Oh, no.
Ariel! Maggie? Maggie?
Why would they, total side note, why would they have a 3D background but then have the characters in 2D? That doesn't make any sense because the characters themselves live in 2D worlds. And it's easier to draw 2D than it is to make, you know, complete 3D sets. So why would they make a 3D background? For a 3D monster, I guess, baby.
Turbans, road rhythm, me? What do I do? What do I do? Rabbit's got it! Rabbit's got it!
What is going on? Why are they thumb wrestling? To see who goes after the monster? Also, it's kind of unique having a monster involved in this because that's kind of like a third party. And all the other death battles I've seen, there's never been really a third party that they'd be fighting. So, is it that, I don't know, are they going to team up against the monster, or is only one of them going to go against the monster?
Come on, come on!
Why don't you aim that at the monster, bud? There you go.
One more thing.
Was that Columbo? Terrifying.
Yeah, big boy.
How to defeat a Great Dane with a speech impediment, eh? You twit.
It burns!
Oh no, he's doing the universe destroying thing. Oh, he's got it. He does have this. Okay. Let's see what abilities this has. This is what I was saying. So far, they're basically evenly matched, it seems, right? And they both have cartoon logic or cartoon DNA. Now, this thing might be able to destroy that. So, Courage might be winning this.
All dogs love their bones, don't they?
Oh no. I guess that meteor didn't work.
Dad, my name isn't Chad James. And it's not.
Ah, dang, he got one heck of a Scooby snack, didn't he? Oh, that's sick. This is epic, dude. And they're both still alive. They're both still alive. Wait, how the frick is that guy still alive?
Stupid dogs! You made me look bad! What's hurt? Ow! 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 Cut it out!
That was a bit violent. Hoagie. Sliced up his face like sliced ham.
Oh, Muriel, I hate that stupid dog!
It was a tie! I've never freaking seen a tie before.
KO!
Wait, what? Who won?
Wiz, as happy as I am to avoid on-screen dog murder, wasn't one of them supposed to die?
Not.
They both have the cartoon, as I said, they both have the cartoon DNA or whatever, right? So it seems like they can't. Now, unless one of them has something to destroy that, such as that or the Wile E. Coyote and Tom video that I reacted to, where Wile E. Coyote had the ability to destroy the cartoon DNA. That, no one here has that ability.
Not since the Great Norris Sancho Singularity event of 2015 have we had a result like this. It can't end like this, right?
Even with Courage's insane cosmic feats, you'd think the Zabriskie Triangle would be enough to seal the deal. But both pooches could...
Here, because both Scooby and Courage were portrayed as on par with each other in their crossover, their physical stats were effectively equalized for this fight. Even if they weren't, as long as they have the DNA to reconstruct themselves after being destroyed, it doesn't matter.
regenerate from basically any kind of physical damage.
Both were incredibly smart in different ways. Scooby was more of a trickster with his dupes, while Courage was a scheming genius. Computer could have given Courage the edge if not for their canon crossover, where it failed to have solid information on Scooby and the gang.
So I guess it came down to their unique abilities. And for 90% of their arsenals, they were evenly matched. Transmutation, mind control, you get it. They're tunes with basically anything, except for the Chest of Demons and the Dark Matter Meteor.
Sure, the chest could theoretically always trap Courage, but he'd always be able to escape and destroy it with the Dark Matter Meteor.
But Scooby could repair the damage by reversing time and then trap him again.
And then Courage would break out again. You know where this is going.
Ultimately, this battle
Yeah, they're way too even. They're way too even.
between man's best friends would never end.
But this is a death battle. Somebody has to die.
Someone did, Wiz. Someone did.
Did anybody tell you that you're kind of scary sometimes?
I don't like dog killers.
Scooby and Courage were incredibly tough opponents that could go blow for blow for blow. They were smart, powerful, and incredibly broken.
Doggone it, Wiz. I guess you could say Eustace had one hell of a rough day. I shih tzu not. Oh, ooh,
Okay, I like that pun.
those were powerful.
Stop.
I don't like that one.
This battle is a draw.
I would actually agree. Just because they didn't have a way to destroy the cartoon DNA in them or whatever. So it doesn't matter. Even if one was more powerful, it wouldn't matter because they still can't destroy that DNA. If one of them had the ability to destroy the DNA of the other for that cartoon DNA, then I would have given it to them, but they didn't have that. I actually really like this episode. Hopefully you guys liked it as well. It's interesting seeing these two fight because they aren't really known for fighting. But yeah, make sure you go subscribe to Death Battle if you're new and subscribe. And I think I rate this out of a 10 for Death Battle. Probably like an 8.4. I really liked it. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.